In this video, we're going to discuss some common issues that you can run into when compiling C programs. Specifically in this video, we're going to focus on issues where you get a file not found or command not found error. So here I have a C file that doesn't do much. It's really just a hello world example essentially, but I want to go ahead and try to compile this. So in my Ubuntu window, I'm going to give it the command gcc and then the file name, file not found.c. And you can see it says error file not found.c, no such file or directory. So that means that whatever file name I gave GCC to compile, it wasn't able to find it. Now, if I do an ls here, you'll notice when I get that directory listing, I don't see that file. And the problem is that this file is not in the current directory. So when I run GCC, it doesn't see it. Now I could, if I wanted, provide the full path, but my recommendation is to compile in the directory where the file is located. Now suppose I don't know where that is. And in most editors, there's some way to determine where that file is. So if I hover over the file name in Visual Studio Code, you can see that it gives me the path. I can also right click and then say reveal in File Explorer, and you'll see that that gives me the full path to the file. So I'll do a CD. Now this is Ubuntu running under Windows 10. So to get to the H drive, which is where my code is, I say mnt for mount, and then the drive letter, which is H, and then the rest of the path. So now if I do an ls, you can see that I have that file. So I'll do the same command I had before. Now let's run the file. So if I do an ls-l, you can see that when I compiled, I got this a.out file. So if I type a.out, now it says command not found. And this is because in Linux, for security reasons, it doesn't by default look in the current directory for a command to run. So I have to explicitly say I want you to run a.out in this directory. The shortcut for the current directory is // to say that now I'm going to give it a file, and it's a.out is the file name. And when I run, you can see that I get my output. Now another common instance where you'll see this file not found error is suppose I'm compiling, but I'm giving it some flags. So let's say I want to use the C11 standard and I want all warnings. You'll see error wall, no such file or directory. Now again, you're going to always get the part of the command it didn't like in the error. So read the error carefully because a lot of times just by reading the error, you'll see exactly what the problem is. Now here, there's no such file or directory wall. Well, that's fine because I wasn't trying to compile anything called wall, but the problem is right here. Notice I left off the dash that needs to precede my flag. So -w is the warning flag, and all says give me all the warnings. So now you can see it compiled correctly. Now, one common and definitely more embarrassing way to run into this particular error. What if I say something like this, and you can see file not found.c, no such file or directory. And in this case, it's a simple misspelling. If I do an ls, I see the file, and since this is Linux, most Linux versions will let you do some sort of copy and paste with your mouse. So if I say gcc, and then if I highlight this file name and then do a right click, and in this case I had to do it twice, once to clear the highlight, and then the next time it actually pastes what that is onto the command line. And then when I press enter, it compiles as normal, and I run the file. So these are just some common things. Again, most of these are pretty simple, but it's amazing how much time you can spend by assuming that your problem isn't a simple problem. Again, just read the error message, and if it says file not found, make sure you're in the right directory, make sure you've typed everything correctly. One of those things almost always is going to be the cause of that particular error.